And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are doing our last preview of the year for Formula One, the Abu Dhabi Preview. So many questions still to answer as we enter the finale, the weekend where McLaren or Ferrari could be crowned constructors. Lando Norris could, for the first time ever, finish second in the championship. Last races for Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz as well, and a new person on the grid. So welcome, and this is the battle for P2. I nearly said P8, but no. 8 points in it. One race to go. Not quite winner takes all, but it may well shift if the last few races are anything to go by. Just remember how strong Ferrari were at Las Vegas compared to McLaren. McLaren was stronger than Ferrari at Qatar, but that didn't end up doing that well. They could have sealed the championship at the last race. They didn't. There was a 10-second stop and go for Lando Norris that we may well be talking about for years if Ferrari do win that championship. I mean, that's going to be, is that the moment that lost him the championship? You could make an argument. There's lots of moments over the year. But yeah, 8 points in it. The battle for P2. But, excuse me. So, Lewis Hamilton, 1 to go. He has had an up and down year, the highlight being the Silverstone win. The Belgian second place into a win, maybe not so much, but that Silverstone win, the tears. He showed us he still has it. He showed us he has still got it just 2 races ago at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. From 10th to 2nd. What an absolute star. But then we go to Qatar and it all goes horribly wrong. And he says he is a bit slow. So is he going to end on a bang or a whimper? I think that is the big question coming in to Abu Dhabi. Also, Carlos Sainz, 1 to go for Carlos Sainz as well. Will he end on a high? Can he beat Charles Leclerc again? Could he get his final win for Ferrari? That may well also be his final win, full stop. Team orders? No. I imagine he's not going to listen to them, but he could be, along with Charles Leclerc, the 2 people that helped Ferrari win that Constructors' Championship. And as we all know, it's been a while. Not as long as McLaren. That was all the way back in 1998. Also, breaking, Jack Doohan to race in Abu Dhabi. He's replaced Esteban Ocon, which many people have mixed feelings on. I think, in a way, Ocon has worked so hard for that team. Remember, he's the guy with the only win for the Alpine team. And I think it's a bit of a middle finger. Yes, I know Qatar wasn't his best race. At one point, he was ahead in points of Pierre Gasly, and now they've done this bizarre deal. No, we want Mick Doohan for 1 race. I don't know what you're going to really see in 1 race, though, from a rookie. I don't understand that whatsoever, but that's what they want. It sounds like a Flavio Briatore deal, with the other end of the deal for Ocon being he can drive the Haas. But that can be done anyway. Carlos Sainz is driving the Williams. Middle finger, I think, to Esteban Ocon. That's no disrespect to Jack Doohan, because I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see what he does. I just hope he has a good weekend. Otherwise, that's going to be the lasting memory of us for Jack Doohan in 2024 as we go into 2025. This is the Constructors' points. Just 21 points in it. McLaren leading. Ferrari second. Red Bull, no, they're not going to win the Constructors' Championship. Why? Well, yeah, Sergio Perez. But Mercedes pretty much stood on for 4th. Aston Martin 5th. And then we have an almighty battle. Alpine, Haas and RB. RB unlikely to get 6th, but between Alpine and Haas, that could get very tasty. And if you remember, last time out, it was Sauber, Kick Sauber, that ended up winning that race. And hopefully, we're going to reset and get some times for the weekend. So practice on the Friday morning, 9:30 to 10:30, and then 1 till 2. That's practice 1 and 2 on the Friday. On the 7th, 10:30 to 11:30, practice 3. We've got qualifying at 2 till 50, 2 till 3 in the afternoon, and 1300 hours or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, just in time for your lunch. It is race. It is the race. So 1 to go. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Let's then have a look at the track, shall we? So this is the Abu Dhabi track. The minute I hopefully click on the right thing, and then we can have a look at the drivers, look at their stories going into the race. But this is hopefully, yeah, this is the Abu Dhabi track. We're now coming round the last parts of it. as I'm going to pause it because now, as I'm, well, not quite going to pause it. Let's not pause it. Let's just hide the camera. This is the last sector then of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix track as we are coming into that. Well, here we go. Final corner. Hamilton knows it well. He's won championships coming around this final corner, and he's lost championships, but only in 2016, 2021, DRS. And you've got to brake quite hard for the first corner, and then it's going to be interesting. It would appear that on the qualifying, you don't lift now at all for the next couple of corners. Now, this is the corner that Verstappen passed Hamilton to win the 2021 championship. That's obviously not happening there, but you want to get early on the power. Now, this is the longest straight in Abu Dhabi. This is where most of the passing is done into what is a really, really tight chicane. So DRS, ERS, and on the brakes, nice and hard. A top speed of 195. That's not bad at all. And then you want to get the on the power smoothly here, which we did not, as you can see. And if you do, you lose all the time, all the way down here, which is arguably the second best passing place. And we brake. This is where Hamilton and Verstappen were also alongside, but Hamilton could not get that lead. He was on those old tyres. As we're now coming into the final sector of the lap as we brake. And yeah, don't want to go too wide there. Nearing very much Latifi's corner as we then take the left-hander. And then we're coming up and we've got the final two right-handers. The final two right-handers here. Brake, right-hander. Yeah, you want to be nice and smooth coming out. Put the power on smoothly. And we can do another lap. Not bad at all. So, yeah. So, hello again. Let's talk, shall we? So, Abu Dhabi, the actual track. It's an interesting one. It's been the host of the F1 finale since 2014. Sadly for some, I don't think it's the best track in the world. I don't really get too excited about it. But the 2024 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix marks the 16th appearance of it being on the calendar. So it is 5.281 kilometres. The race length is 306. Laps are 58, 16 turns. It first opened in 2009. It has held 15 races. This will be the 16th. Track record of 122.109 Max Verstappen in 2021. A lap record of 126.103 also Max Verstappen in 2021. As he was hunting down Lewis Hamilton, it did require a safety car to help though, didn't it? So there are 15 Grand Prix held. Hamilton has the most wins. He's got more wins here than any other driver with 5. Half of the 6 previous Abu Grand Prix winners are on the grid. Rosberg, Raikkonen and Vettel being the former winners who are absent. Aside from Hamilton's 5 wins, Verstappen has won in all of the last 4 seasons, while Bottas has taken one single victory. We have Vettel, Hamilton and Verstappen are the only drivers to take back-to-back wins. Vettel did so in 2009 and 2010. Hamilton won in 2018 and 2019. Verstappen became the first driver for 3 consecutive wins at Yas Marina in 22 and extended the record to 4 wins in 2023. British drivers have the most victories though here with 5. Hamilton, that is pretty much all at Lewis. Red Bull have the most victories at the Marina circuit. They surpassed Mercedes' former record of 6. And that was in 2023. Vettel, though, holds the record for the largest winning margin, which was 30.829 seconds. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix has been won by less than 5 seconds, though, on 6 occasions. And that includes 4 of the last 8 events. That's not too bad going at all. It could be a close race. The smallest winning margin was 2016 when Hamilton lost the title to Nico Rosberg. That was 2016, and that was 0.439. Hamilton does have 10 podiums, though. Not bad at all. And therefore he's got the most top 3 finishes. And Mercedes, if you want to know, are the most successful team here when it comes to those podiums. So there we go. That's pretty much that. Let's have a look at the team. So Magnussen. I think Kenny Magnussen. This is the last time we're going to see good old Kenny Magnussen. I think it's going to be really interesting. Who knows what on earth is gonna happen? I think it's anyone's game, especially when you look at the last race. I don't think we're going to have tyre issues. Hopefully, no controversial safety cars this time. I think Haas could do quite well here. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Haas score points. And Magnussen is on an absolute storm. His last few races of the season. Is he giving any teams doubts? I mean, come on, Red Bull. Just saying. Hulkenberg, yeah, it's going to be his last race for Haas as well. Sad times, but Hulkenberg is going to be looking behind him on the grid to his new team, but hopefully that's only going to be for a year. So the man of the race at Qatar, Zhou Guan Yu, arguably had his best race of the year. Can he improve it? I think he's going to need both Saubers. Him and Valtteri Bottas are going to need a lot of luck going into this race to do any well. But luck is all it took at Qatar. And they got the points, didn't they? So, this guy here, I think there's a lot of pressure on Liam Lawson. He came in, he's done really, really well. I think he's got now 10 Grand Prix behind him. But a lot of people feel like he needs to do better. We've seen the best and we've seen the not so best of Liam Lawson. I think we need to see an absolutely storming weekend. He needs to beat Yuki Tsunoda. And alternatively, Yuki Tsunoda very much needs to beat Liam Lawson. So it's going to be really interesting between these two. Who is going to be the Red Bull driver? The big money is going to be on one of these two. Most of the money seems to be on Liam Lawson, but I can't help thinking he just needs to prove himself just that tiny bit more. And where else than Abu Dhabi, which he probably knows. I like to think he knows quite well. So we've got Colapinto. So I tell you what, if Lawson was under any pressure, is Colapinto under any pressure now? Because the rumour is Red Bull have said no thank you, and so have Alpine. Because he started off really well, and then he's been more Sergeant Latifi than Colapinto, sadly, which is a big shame. I mean, he came in with the massive fanfare, giving Alex Albon struggles, and then he's kind of going out with a whimper. Yeah, I really hope not. But Alex Albon, strong weekend. He knows he's got a job for next year. He knows the Williams team like him. He's been tested definitely against Franco Colapinto. And so far, he's come out on top. But what is going to happen between him and Sainz? That's really exciting. Ocon, not even going to race. So, we've already spoken about that. We've spoken about Jack Doohan. It's sad times for me. Poor Ocon, we're not going to see him, but we will see him at the test. But Pierre Gasly, this second half, especially the last, few races, he's very much been Alpine's MVP. And I think he's going to be really happy. They have finally, over the last, let's say, quarter of the season, actually moved forward at a decent rate, so not bad. But this team has really moved back. Lance Stroll, yeah, he's not really moved anywhere, has he? But when I say moving back, when you look at Fernando Alonso's results, he's really moved back. The team has moved back. It's kind of sad. It's a bit sad to see. You kind of wonder, yeah. I think they just want this to end. I really do. So, Oscar Piastri, yes, he did finish on the podium in Qatar, but once again, I think he was left wanting more. We were left wanting more for Oscar. Lando really, in terms of pace, blew him away. Yes, he did finish ahead of Lando, thanks to Lando and that 10-second stop go. Yes, Lando did deserve a penalty. I guess it's debatable whether the 10-second stop go, but that is in the rules. So slow down for double yellowed. But Oscar Piastri, in terms of pace, massively disappointing. I think Lando Norris is going to go all out to try and get a win to end the season on a high, end it with a smile, and hopefully start the 2025 season fresh as one of those title favourites. He's going to be so hungry, but this man's going to be hungry as well. His last time in a Ferrari, potentially his last time in a race-winning car. It is all to play for. And I think the Abu Dhabi track's going to suit Ferrari more than Qatar did, which also means that Sainz is going to have to contend against Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's wunderkind, Ferrari's favourites, at least for this year. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? So let's talk about George Russell and his feud with Max Verstappen. There's a loads of talking points coming into Abu Dhabi, and that most certainly is one of them. What is going to happen between him and Max Verstappen? Let's hope they line up together on the grid somewhere. It's gonna be quite tasty. And wow, this man most certainly needs to Austin Powers to it and find his mojo again. And I think if the car's there, if the car gives him confidence, we will see an on-song Lewis Hamilton. Apparently having a special livery as well, so that's going to be quite exciting. But I do feel for him. He is having doubts, despite being the most successful driver in Formula One. It shows we're only human after all. But I'm hoping for a solid weekend. Podium would be fantastic. A win, well, that would be fairy tale stuff. But we got that win in Silverstone, didn't we? Could happen again. You never know. So let's talk about the man. This is probably, a lot of people are suggesting, Sergio Perez's last race. A deal rumoured to have been struck behind the scenes, or going to be struck. Christian Horner came out and basically said it's up to Perez. Does that secretly mean, in code, Perez, It's up to you, but you need to do the right thing and retire. I mean, that's the big thing. And Sergio Perez has been defiant, to be fair, never give up. But he has cost that bonus to all the engineers and workers down at Red Bull. He has cost them the Constructors World Championship. And Max Verstappen is really wanting to go out on a win after a really good racing guitar. I think this is going to suit him a bit more, but I think it will be really close and it's going to be really interesting. I am really looking forward to it. So let's just recap the main stories. Going into the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, 8 points in it, 1 race to go. Lando Norris versus Charles Leclerc for that second place in the championship. Lando leads by 8 points in that second. 1 to go for Lewis Hamilton. Can he find his mojo back at the last race? We're looking at a special livery potentially. 1 to go for Carlos Sainz, his last race in a Ferrari. Will this be his last race in a potential race-winning car? Maybe that's the scary thing. Jack Doohan replaces Esteban Ocon. I think a middle finger, as we said, from Alpine to Esteban Ocon after everything he's done for them, including getting their only win. But we are excited to see Jack Doohan. And last but not least, the Constructors' Championship, 21 points in it. McLaren are leading. They've got maybe a few fingertips, but this is F1. Anything can happen. Look at the last few races. McLaren were favourites in Qatar. They didn't get the job done. McLaren were arguably favourites in the USA, not Las Vegas, in COTA. It was a Ferrari 1-2. It's going to be interesting. It's not going to be boring whatsoever. So, if you like what you see, please give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. If you made it to the end, you are an F1 World Champion in our eyes. If you made it to the end and gave us a like, or a subscribe, or a comment even, you are a multiple World Champion in our eyes. Stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon.